This week is about tackling this bad boy. You will have seen it behind me as like a backdrop. I have filmed me doing it so I can catch you up on what I've done, what I've been looking at, how I've been dealing with stuff, and then we're gonna get on. Get my reference material. Oh yeah, I don't want to worry you guys. I am fine, but I am slightly organised this morning. I know. I'm going to point out the problem areas to you first. They may not be problem areas to you, but I just think it's useful for me to talk to you guys to get it right in my head, and then hopefully I can sort of unconsciously work through these problems whilst I'm chatting it out with you guys. So I'll bring you forward. This was the reference material. I will drop a proper image in now. I took this picture, it was just so beautiful. It's one of those moments where you're just like, oh my God, I've got to grab it. Didn't have any plein air stuff for me, no sketchbook, no nothing, obviously, because I'm useless. But I think what's happened is because I'm not there, it's coming out a little bit flat. Oh, I almost swallowed my own tongue there, Jesus. Some of the trees on here are more wispier than this. I like this, but I want more. I'm thinking it's a bit fat, it's a bit on the fat side. Maybe take more branches away. Make them a bit more messed up. Love this bit here, like it's coming into the view. Love that. Love the fact that this is going out of the view. So you're like, whoop, whoop, and you just spat out the other end. The bottom bit is obviously where I've dripped and then worked on top of. Now, I'm not completely offended. I just think it's too much, isn't it? Even for me. Come, I'll bring you in. What I was gonna do was make some falling marks, so falling branches. Get some sort of interest at the bottom. I'm just putting them in red so I can see them. I can always sort of work in and around them. I think that'll create more interest if I mess it up a bit. I think it's getting too perfect, isn't it? I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this transition. It's very blurry on the screen. It doesn't look intentional in person. Now this is where it gets dead sexy. When we say birds in the skies, what we get round here is fighter jets. So anyway, yesterday, my husband and I were out walking, shooting for another video. What had happened was we were driving home and two massive fighter jets went overhead, and I'm telling you, they were low. There was like a farmhouse. This is the kind of outline thing that I really like to do, to say building. I was just getting bits and bobs, so I was getting like signposts. There was like this weird red bin. The windows were like this really salmony worn paint, which I just love, obviously. I love that colour. Fighter jet went over with two of them, and I got them in just really quickly. And I thought that is the most fantastic thing I've ever seen or think of in my life. What I did was then take another picture, which I did, and just practicing in the sketchbook and all that good stuff. I was like, it's missing something. Oh, I don't know. Why don't we just plonk a fighter jet in? Can we handle it? Imagine a fighter jet in there. Oh, you are so close. Personal space, guys. I mean, seriously. Now I'm just plonking it in like the rudimentary shape. Now, I don't know about you, but I really think that makes it. I need to mess up the trees a bit. It's looking a bit flat, but that's okay. I can handle it, I can do it. I can do my job. What I do when I get to this stage is I always refer back to my sketchbooks. So for example, there was one in here that I did, which I've referred back to quite a number of times. This was more for kind of colour and texture. You know, I wanted to sort of sort this sky out, see how it kind of worked with everything else. So I always go, right, leave it, because I'm just gonna get dead annoyed and upset and angry. Okay, so what I've done is add another branch in there. Looks like a bit of a wind turbine, doesn't it? Added these stick things to kind of try and break up that liney. So I'm just gonna work on them, and I added these trees as well. So these kind of things, added some of them just to break up that very kind of horizontal boop, boop, boop. It's taken me a bit longer because I'm still figuring out things. And because I haven't been doing canvases for very long, I'm obviously still trying to figure a lot of stuff out about my practice in the first place. It just takes me forever to make a decision. Just so unsure of it, everything still at the moment, you know? I think that just comes with time, continuously doing it, experience, which obviously I'm not going to get unless I get on and do it. I'm not going to make any progress unless I actually like just sit in the uncomfortable phases. I think that's where you get most of the experience. The thing is, the piece is so big that I do find that you change one thing and you go, yeah, that's good. It takes you hours just to change that one thing, because it's like, oh Jesus, I've got to do it all over now, haven't I, to sort of balance it out. It could be one small thing, a rock, another tree, a different colour, fighter jet. Trust the process. Trusting the process is fine, but when you have like 18 avenues in front of you and you're trying to figure out which one works for you, you've kind of got to go down every one of them, and believe me, that takes time, and I'm no walker, you know? I think it's quite playful, very joyful, very me. Maybe another week. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. See how we get on. Don't be mad at me. Some of you have been amazingly understanding, although, Christine, so sorry, babes. I'm gonna get a proper berating probably of Christine, unless she absolutely despises the work, then obviously we're all right. I've been thinking about this the last few days. You'll see on my community tab that I have been working on. Beautiful, really, really proud of this. This is mixed media. Then just do a body of work. This has obviously got glossy on it. I really like that because there's something quite slick about it. A lot of people just want it in matte, so unfortunately it's quite a nightmare to actually do it. There you go. Look at all those textures. I mean, the texture is just beautiful, and I really am so happy with this kind of little body of work I've got going on now. I'm trying to kind of get it for you, but look at all that texture. Really, really nice. One of the things that I've really been, I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks actually, is to work on my trees a bit more. Well, you know, the fighter jet I thought was going to save it. Then my husband walked in, and a couple of other people that I'd sent it to, like friends, had said it looked like a spaceship. So that really upset me. But my husband said the ultimate thing, which really upset me, that it looked like a kite. A bloody kite. That did not go down too well at all. Yeah, I have spent weeks and weeks on this piece. You will have seen some of it, put like a portion of it throughout this video, and unfortunately I had to make the decision. It does look messy, right? But aren't you just loving it? But you can see me building up to something like that, you know? Yeah, that is just beautiful. So much has been going on, and I think that it's been getting in the way of my process. Obviously work. I mean, I don't like to talk about anything other than my practice on this channel if I can help it. Work is hectic at the moment, really hectic. We're going through like a rebranding as well. We're going through a renovation of one of the buildings. It's just full on. It's a lot right now, guys. It is a lot. So this is multitasking at the moment. We didn't finish the piece. I've kind of like put you through a lot, really, this vlog, haven't I? Deep dived into piece that I ended up covering up, and then I didn't manage to get a finished piece out for you in the end. I know I didn't manage to get it finished, and I'm all about authenticity. I really am, because I really do believe that that is the way forward when doing this. You know, you have to just be yourself, do what you want, and hope and pray that people get you, understand you, identify with you, and subsequently like you. And I think this video is important because I really wanted to create a channel that documented going from nothing to something. I don't know what that something looks like, but I don't really think it matters, because that's an ever-changing, continuous evolution, isn't it? You get kind of a little window into how I create a piece, my mindset, how I problem solve. You might even be able to identify with that and go, yeah, that's what I do. Or you might think I'm struggling and be like, sweetheart, you're doing it all wrong. Let me know in the comments. It's said quite often, like, having a creative process, it can be quite a lonely endeavor. They're not wrong, it is. It's just I've been able to kind of entwine that and using it to create a YouTube channel. Well, it's been quite life-changing, actually, this channel. And I know that sounds like, whoa, but it is, it really is, to my little life. I've been able to think about my practice in a different way. I've had to learn a lot new skills, and I'm not techie, but here I am sat in a bigger studio with lighting about me that isn't currently on because I'm still figuring out how to work it. I mean, it's a light at the end of the day, but we all know how accident prone I am. When anyone says to you, trust the process, that could be applied to pretty much most aspects of your life, but specifically to this, creativity, that will be determined by you. Imagine the amount of people, what they're doing in their homes. They're not filming, they're not uploading, they're just doing it because they love it. Imagine how good they are. Just imagine for a second. Oh, mind-blowing when you think about it. What it boils down to is trusting the process, is trusting you, trusting yourself, being kind to yourself. Don't be put off by the struggles. You know, yeah, there was a lot about that piece that I absolutely loved. Don't get me wrong. I did that before, didn't I? I was so committed to that composition. Everything else I did thereafter was just like, it was painful. But I'm glad to have had that experience, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have known, right, we're not going in the right direction. We are not going in the direction we want to go in. And the thing is, that's again about it. Trusting your intuition. Nothing bad is going to happen if you paint over work or if you just mess it up a bit. The worst that can happen is you slightly regret it, but you'll always remember the feeling of why you did it in the first place. You know, take good images, you'll be all right. You just get that feeling, don't you, that it's just, this ain't working out. So this was a bold move, considering you saw a fraction, which was still quite a long time to put on film, a fraction of the processes I went through in that first piece. I'm so happy to have done this video because it's so important to emphasize the uniqueness of what we're talking about here. And I love you guys. You're amazing. You support me every week. You do better than a lot of my family. Good job, guys. Good job. So I really hope this video wasn't too traumatic. Again, Christy, keep the comments clean. You can berate me in a private message. And if it has inspired you and you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. Please. You won't regret it. You won't. I'm confident in that. Love you guys. Bye. I mean, I'm sat here on camera, chatting away to you, eating a bowl of healthy food. You've become like my best friend, I'll be honest.